Okay, so I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Been coaching for now over 10 years. I do an online academy, Gentle Art Lifestyle, and obviously I do train at home as well and coach at Nutriground. My style and what I portray may not be for everybody, but maybe you can learn something from it, and maybe it's for you. Cool. The way that my brand is painless, precise, and playful. So when I roll, I like to have fun. I don't like to hurt people, and I like to be precise in the things that I do. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't believe a tap is a tap. Raise your hand if you're a professional jiu-jitsu athlete here. Shit. Anybody? Bueller? Okay, so most of us have day jobs that we go back to, yeah? And how many of us like to explain why we... What'd you say? Right? No, we want to have full motion. Look, we don't... It's not like we get fucking gold stars when we crank the neck, great. No, that's not, to me, that's not cool. So I'm a hobbyist. This isn't my career yet, okay? I'm a hobbyist. This is what I do as a passion. And I do not have a passion for getting my neck cranked. All right? I have spent a lot of time to put together classes. I'm more like guillotine is what I do the most. I have 2 BJJ Fanatics videos on guillotines, and guillotines is what, whatever. But everything that I do, and I'll probably get to in this, anything that's off a guillotine, I can swim right into a Darce. Okay, and that's kind of where we're going to be today. Most of you, raise your hand if you think Darces hurt your neck. That's most of you, yeah. So my goal today, if you don't get anything out of this class, my goal today is to prove to you that you can do it without hurting your opponent. Okay? My goal in any Darce is to put my opponent to sleep. Obviously, I don't want it to get to that point, but that's the goal. Not to get him to tap because it hurts. Because if it's actual fight, you're going to get through the pain, right? I do have to make a disclaimer. I am fucking cold. I just did an ice bath for, 5 minutes or whatever, and then I got out and I thought that I could bring my body temperature up, so I'm shivering cold. It's not that I'm nervous in front of you, maybe some of you, okay? But I'm just really cold, so I'm probably going to speak too fast. If I speak too fast, you'll be like, hey, can you slow it down a little bit? Just because I'm like, okay? All right, so let's get into it. Man, that's a nice looking rash guard.
You got it somewhere.
Let's see, just, that looks nice right there, just the matching, yeah? All right. We didn't plan that at all. All right. So, just lay down, head that way. Yeah. So, the one thing that you can get out of any strangle, if you don't take anything else from this class, the one thing that you can take away from this is compression, not extension, okay? So, I talk about this in guillotines all the time, but it applies here. What I'm trying to do, let's see, yeah, perfect. What I'm trying to do in any Darce is put a wall here, okay, that's not going to move, and we'll talk about the precision of everything, okay? But I'm going to put something here, and then I'm going to compress into it, okay? That's it. Everything else is an answer to what he's doing, okay? And obviously I'm doing this for the camera on this angle because this would be really stupid if I was trying to Darce like this, right? But if he doesn't move, so don't move. I'm in this position. If I just keep compressing here, let's see, yeah, I get a tap. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Not at all. Okay. What happens in Darces a lot of times is when we shoot through, we hit the neck muscle here. We're not being precise. So everybody do me a favor. I want you to feel your own necks. Tilt. Feel this muscle on the side. Pretty hard, right? Go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward. There we go. On that soft spot, right? That's what's running blood up to your brain. That's a hose. If I had a garden hose and I wanted to stop the water from coming out the garden hose, what would I do? I'd kink it, right? So that's what I'm trying to do with this hose. I'm trying to kink the hose. Additionally, if I'm like this, feel your own trachea. I don't know, you can feel it. And if I'm like straight neck, giraffe neck, that's hard, right? Now what I'd like you to do is break your own posture and then feel it again. It seems to retract a little bit, doesn't it? So we're going to get that out of the way. So not only are we doing things more precisely, we're kinking a hose. Additionally, we're getting a problem out of the way that could hurt my foot. Okay. All right. Now that I got that stuff out of the way, we know what we're trying to do. Let's actually do it. Okay. Come around to me here. So I'm going to set up just a basic Darce. Okay. From this basic Darce, we're going to have all sorts of different questions. I'm actually going to try something in this one. We'll see if it works. But I'll get to that in a second. So, Darces from the armpit to the neck, whereas an anaconda would be neck to armpit. Okay. So we're going through this way, armpit to the neck. How deep should you get? Depends. Okay. You can be shallow, you can be deep. It doesn't matter. The deeper that you get, the more stuff is going to be in there, and the less compression that you need. I'm going to say that again. The more you get deep in there, the more stuff is in there and the less compression, right? So if I get all of this in there, okay, it's going to take less compression to kink that hose, to put something in there, to kink it down, okay? If I'm this deep, you see how his head can bend down more? So it takes more compression, okay? So it depends on the neck. Like big, strong people, you might be able to get it, like it's harder to get it in, but once you get it in, there's more stuff for them to strangle on. Right. Coming through, just a connection. I just want to touch the neck. That's where I want to be. The other hand, come through. I'm going to grab my tricep if I can. Okay, you see how I'm kind of rolling through? You can be here. I like to grab my tricep. The secondary hand, come up on the shoulder, that's up. Okay? Now, here's the tricky part. It's a little bit nuanced. We have to understand how we want to kink this hose. Okay? What will happen if he's in here, and boom, boom, everybody can kind of picture her body in here. I want to compress this down. To do that, I'm going to use my lat, which is a pretty strong muscle. Except on me, I'm not really that strong. But compress my lat down. If I compress it upwards, okay, it's going to feel like it's kinky. At least once a class. Look for at least 3 or 4 more, right? That was ridiculous. Kinky, yeah. Okay, you want this to go straight down. So if in space, it would be like this. You don't want it to go like this, or like this, or like this. Downwards. So you have to understand when you're compressing this down, you have to understand where that's actually going on your opponent. Okay, can you see that? Okay. So downward. So I know that I'm using my lat to bring this down. That's going to be a key component. Now, the thing that at least half of you are going to mess up is when I'm here, you'll compress, but the whole system will move. So what are you compressing into, right? I said make a wall and then compress down. Put something in there and compress down. But if that thing moves, we could do. You just move your body as I go. There's nothing. This is just going to move. Okay. So picture that you're putting your elbows together. Okay. The strangle arm. This is the strangle arm that went in first. It's not going to move. It's a wall. Okay. And to prevent it from moving with it, just put them together. Obviously, you'll never get your elbows together, but just kind of think of that. Okay? All the way through, make sure you have that connection with the neck. Nice figure 4. Try to grab your tricep if you can. Bring your hand up to the shoulder. And now I know I'm going to compress down. Let's talk about our body. Ideally, I would like my weight not on the frame of his shoulder, but just below. Okay? So watch his shoulder, and how if I push down, if I add weight to this, there we go. So this is helping put more stuff to compress into. I can do it without the shoulder, and I'm going to hopefully get to one where it really illustrates that. Okay. So to put that weight down, I'm thinking about if there was a nail that's going right through me, I'm figuring out how to put all my weight on a nail just past his shoulder. Does that make sense to everybody? So like, I know that if I drop on my elbow, okay, all my weight's on that elbow. I know that all my weight's on my chest, all my weight's on my shoulder, okay? In this case, I want all my weight on my chest, which is directed on this arm. It's a ton of information, I understand. Once we get past the basic one, everything's great. We're going to go into a bunch of what ifs, okay? But let's get this one down. We're going to come through, make that contact. Over the head, try to grab our tricep if we can. Secondary hand coming up on the shoulder. Figuring out how to drive my weight down like a nail was going through me. At the same time, bringing this arm down to compress into the strangle. Right now, I'm not squeezing, I'm not doing anything. He's about to tap it. Okay. Did that hurt? Nope. It can be done. How many times did I say squeeze in that? 0. I'm not squeezing. I'm compressing my own arms. I'm not pulling up. Okay? I'm not doing much of anything except for just this. Okay? My elbows are coming back home. I'm sure people have heard me say that. Okay? Think we can give that a shot? All right, cool. 1, 2, 3. Okay. If this is a normal class, about a third of you will have hit it painlessly. Let's check. Raise your hand. How many people felt painless Darces? Ooh, oh shit. Hey, I'm getting better at my job. This is awesome. Thank you. I do like to give compliments when compliments are due. And quite frankly, as I was walking around, the communication that you guys had with each other, like, hey, that was a little cranky, but that was a good one. And like the genuine excitement, like, oh yeah, you strangled me really well. It's awesome. Okay, so please keep that up. That's what we're looking for. Okay, I'm absolutely shocked that many people felt painless Darces. What are we doing? Painless Darces. And since we have all that many people that have already done it, I think we can just end class now. Just Josh and you. Yep. That's it. Yep. Okay. So what we're going to do, I think, because this seems like a fun class and you're doing really well at it, obviously keep drilling this, right? Like this is the bread and butter. Okay, so we're putting something in there and we're compressing down. Okay, that weight portion of it is there, so more stuff gets shoved in there to compress down. Okay, and when we're compressing down precisely like this, as opposed to bringing a neck up like this and all that kind of stuff. Okay, it seems to make sense to this group, so we're going to do something I never do, and it could be a train wreck. We're going to ask what-if questions. Okay? So what I'd like you to do right now is say, well, what if this? We're in a Darce position, what if that? Okay? This is totally outside what I was going to do, but I don't know why. Maybe it's the ice bath. We're going to try. Does anybody have any Darce what-if questions? Yes.
What if the arm is still in like an underhook type position?
What if the arm is still in an underhook type position? Perfect. That's where we're going to go next. Okay. So, I'm Darcing here, and he's got an underhook on me. Okay? This can be a problem. Why is this a problem? Well, one, it's very hard to finish this, right? Or to get a grip. Like it's kind of killing that. 2, he's threatening my back. Like maybe he's got good hips and he's got threatened back. Okay, you know, and obviously we can work our wizard and that kind of stuff, but that's not this class. So as I come through, there's 2 solutions here. Actually 3. 1, if you're asking me what I would do from here, I would just transition into a guillotine. Okay, as you know. Okay, so I would just transition here, but that's not this class. So what I'll do instead is, because he's high here, but it elongates a lever, however you say it, whatever country you're from, right? I'm going to drop weight on this, which he's not going to be able to keep up. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to go in. So to do that, switching hips, see how that kind of kills that, right? And I just reach there, and as I reach, I come into my darts. Okay. So he's got this nice high grip. I'm like, I'm going to shoot for that. Cool. That hip side leg is going to become heavy. Everybody see that? Reaching through. Look at the angle of my shoulders as well. Like for some of us that have shorter arms, darts can be a little bit tricky, especially against wide people, right? I'm kind of lanky and dainty, so I have arms for this, which is cool. But we have solutions for everyone. So look at my shoulders currently, right? Somewhat parallel with the ground. When I hit that weight, look what happens to my shoulders. I'm elongating that arm, right? Like I can only reach here, but then when I turn my shoulder, look at how much farther I can reach. At least another, I don't know, 3-4 inches. Okay. So, that's awful. So I'm here. Maybe I can only grab here, and I just shear down into my darce. Okay. Maybe I like a short darce, which we can go over later, and that was the plan, but now I've already screwed that up. Straight down. Boom. Try to grab my tricep if I can. Top. And then you see how my hips kind of came up? It just allowed that arm to center where I can then drop my weight down. Okay? Let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3. I just had a fun experience strangling a neck that took like, I don't know, a perfect, I'm pretty good at strangles, a perfect rear naked choke even. That, I mean, I wasn't squeezing or trying to use any muscle, trying to be straight up. I'm like, I mean, that was like 10 seconds, which is pretty fucking cool for him. And something that I'm going to play with. Like, so Charles, I think in here, if not, he does a choke theory class, and he talks about like our oxygen needs. So if I'm at peace meditating, my heart rate's probably in the 40s. Okay, my oxygen, like you could strangle me and it's going to take longer for that to hit me. Okay, if I'm in a panic scenario, my heart rate's 170, and you strangle me, immediate. Okay, right now we're all feeling hopefully safe, and that's okay, right? So maybe it takes a little bit longer. We want to have that patience. We don't want to adjust by using strength and coming up, because that's going to be cranky. What we'd like to do is have patience and continue to compress. Different ways to compress. Okay? That's how we want to solve that problem. Don't solve it with the immediate rah! You might get a tap, but I think that's a false positive. Okay? Next what-if question. They reach in and grab the inside of their thigh. 100% guillotine. Because anytime that they come, I'm not going to show this. Just this is the easiest path. So he really defends there. That leaves this completely open. Because if I was here, I can come through. There's nothing stopping me getting that grip on the other side. Okay, that answers your question. I don't want to get too much into that. But, so, yes, yeah, you first.
So the platonic ideal is where they keep their head straight,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like a straight down into that.
Yes.
If they're turning their head, or if you turn their head, then like it's a big kind of like a crank. Yeah, sure, they might come on that way. Can you do anything to not have them turn their head, or to make sure that their head stays straight, like with the setup?
Yeah. So the second that your elbows come back home, it's going to make that rotation a little bit harder. If they chose to go like this, that could be a problem. But you can also put the pressure in line with that to kind of bring it back. So like if I'm like this, then I put pressure directionally like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, can you show that, please?
Yeah. All right. Well, doesn't. Or he's just talking about just basic. So like, he's catching like this, right? Where
Yeah,
instead of being here.
Yeah, they're like bearing your chin.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I'll try to. Well, this isn't even. This is. What's that?
Like arm triangle?
Yeah. So in this particular scenario, like if he happened to look up like this, it just sucks for him. Because it's just it's just not good. Like I can try like painless, precise. Like I can do that to a certain extent, but if they're gonna do something really dumb, like I mean, because if I do this, like that's and like I don't know, don't do that. I mean, just for your safety, don't do that. Like almost always, you want to be in good posture. Don't do that. Because if I'm an asshole and I go down on it hard, then I'm actually getting hurt. Next one, yes.
So I guess the traditional like bailout for this would be like to belly out, like to get your shoulders perpendicular for the bottom guy to get the shoulders perpendicular. So at what point do you just abandon it?
Yep, beautiful. I was hoping to get to that question. Thank you. No. So a common defense, what he's suggesting, is once I get in here, he's going to roll here, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So there's two things happening. This is a great defense. This is probably my first go-to. And I'd like to spend just 30 seconds talking about this particular defense. Okay? So I'm here, and he rolls down. Stop. Look at his forehead. Okay? What's good about this?
I can compress.
Exactly, Ben. I can't compress. Okay? Now, if I'm a stubborn guy, can I squeeze his neck here? Absolutely. And is it going to suck for him? Yep. But that's not painless precise, right? Okay, so now to your question, right? So good defense. All right, the challenge here is then figuring out how I can get something angled into him so then I can compress, right? So I need to change something about this. This is my favorite finish, so I'm glad to get on. Okay. So I'm here, boom, I got this. Let me rotate you here. And I'm going to try to do this in a way that I'm really far away so you can see what my arms are doing. Okay, so if you can't see, come in. Yeah, just put that here. So I'm coming in. When I'm going for the traditional darce, I'm trying to get as much stuff in there, right? And then wrap it up, right? So in this particular case, go ahead and roll through. Oh, okay. I'm not going to be able to get that finished, but what I can do is rotate my body over, and I'm going to loosen it just a little bit, so my arm's going to get perpendicular to his jaw. Who here is taking my anaconda or guillotine class? Some? Okay, good. You can find those online, I think, Old Trotter or BJJ Fanatics. 2 videos on it. Yeah, shameless plug. So watch the angle. So I have this angle here. That was my original plan, right? But now I'm going to go perpendicular to the jaw. I'm going to bring my chest to his head. My chest is then going to be the thing that's compressing into him. So what that looks like, I'm here, rotating, and you see how my arm is I'm really exaggerating here, but my arm's kind of slipping that way, and it's going to slip enough to get to the back of the head. Okay? So here, I was here, slip, let's rotate, rotate, rotate. Okay, so even if he plants his forehead, awesome. I just lift up a little bit with my body and trap inside my sternum. Elbows are together. His head can't go anywhere. Trap on the sternum, and then I'm finishing by walking. You see I'm compressing still? My chest is going proud. Like currently I'm concave because I'm trying to be nice. But the second that I go proud chest, how does that feel? Yeah. So here, proud, and then just do the Homer Simpson walk. So it's all about that compression. This is a little bit higher end of a question. So if you're a brand new white belt, let's make sure that we get in Painless. Raise your hand and I'll try to come around. But for those of us that have been training for a little bit, let's try this. Same exact principles. The principles for this are put something in there and compress down. Before, I was compressing with my weight on the arm and then bringing my lat in. This time I let things go a little bit, okay? I got my chest on the back of this head and I compress with my chest, okay? Yes, sir.
Do you want to catch his legs and keep him from running away?
Sure, if you can, awesome, yeah. Most importantly, everything in, compress with the chest. If he wants to run away, you run away after him and let's see who wins that race. That's my absolute favorite way of finishing something is when both of you guys are Homer Simpsons. Like, it's so entertaining for me because like there's no way for them to win that race. So, yeah, absolutely. Should I loosen it up so we both can run around? All right. So come through here. I went for it. He rotates down. Good move. Okay. So instead of that angle that I was, I'm loosening up. You see this? Loosening up. As I loosen up, I'm getting my body on the back of his head. Okay? If his plan was to come up, let him. Awesome. I mean, he's laughing now because he knows that would be a poor decision, right? But it doesn't matter. Once I get my body on the back of his head, then I'm figuring out any way I can to compress. And if he wants to run, we can run. But the whole time, my elbows are back in. My chest is compressing forward. Okay? Let's give that a shot. Yes.
You transition from the bicep down to the forearm with that one?
You can. If I can keep it tight, I can, but it depends on the body type or whatever. I could be down here if I need more room. Okay? Why am I still sitting like this? Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. A couple of things that I see in every class. If one person's doing something, then they're the idiot. If a lot of people are doing something, I'm the idiot because I didn't explain it well. Okay? So a couple things on the Darces, just in general. If I come through here and I wrap this up and I say drop weight, am I dropping weight? Where is the majority of my weight?
Knees.
Correct. Oh, you guys are great. This is a really great class. Thank you for being great, guys. I really do appreciate it. Okay. My weight is in my knees, right? The second, like this is really quite loose, right? The second that I drop, how does that feel? John? Yeah. Because I'm putting all my weight through the position that I want it to go through. Okay, so there's a ton of different examples of this. I always teach it from knee on belly, right? Like, go ahead and sit there. Have a cig, you can hang out, yeah. But if I actually took my knee, right? Think about, in all positions, how we're utilizing our weight. Do I want to take 160 pounds and put it through a nail? Sometimes, right? That's what I'm doing with this. Taking his arm and going like that. I see a lot of us having troubles with that. Okay? Secondarily, on the one that I just showed, coming through, a lot of us are not comfortable enough for us to give this up. Okay, we still want to stay tight on this. If I stay tight on this, how can I break down his posture? I can't. The ground's not going to go anywhere. Okay? So if I insist on this, I'm going to squeeze. And if I squeeze, what part of his neck am I hitting?
The side.
The side. Is that precise?
No.
Could I possibly get a tap from it?
Yes.
Why am I getting a tap from it?
Hurts.
It's not the modifier.
Because it fucking hurts. Right? And then that's a Wednesday. Who feels like on a fucking Wednesday having their neck cranked and then going to work on Thursday and telling people why they can't move? Doesn't make sense. So don't do it. Unless John and I are like, hey, you want to go hard today? You want, like, yeah. You want to, like, oh, I'm in a competition. I want to fight. Okay. Well, let's clear that. Right? Don't do that to me. I'll tap. I'll fucking tap. I don't give a shit. Okay? I'm not a tough guy. You got it. Thumbs up. I don't. All right. So those are the two things. I'm sorry. I went on a fucking tangent. All right. So I'm here. I'm going to loosen up. It's okay. Enough to get my chest on the back of his head. Center chest, center head. If his head pops out, if I'm just here, I can roll him a little bit. Yeah, maybe I can finish like that. But it's just not as precise as getting your whole body and breaking down that posture. Okay? Does it take some nuance and practice? Absolutely, yeah. All right. One last quick question, if I can answer it in a minute.
If you're with a bigger opponent, like with longer shoulders,
Yes.
and you shoot in, and you're having a hard time being able to control that, can you switch it to a gable grip on that, and then bring it
You absolutely can, yes.
Okay.
Again, I don't prefer it because it's rough. But the answer is yes. What I do prefer, and I would show this anyway, so thank you for the question. Actually, let me use it. You're fucking huge. So if I try to get as deep as possible, this is quite literally as deep as I can get. Okay. Now bring your lat. Just bring this lat home. Don't even rotate. Don't rotate yet. Just bring this lat. Yeah. Look what that does to elongate my arm. That's that's significant, and I'm not stopping. Okay. So what I can do is change that shoulder, give myself that little extra boost, right? And I go for what I call the short darts. Okay? Not I call, a lot of people call it. I'm just grabbing my wrist. So before, come back up for a second. Before, oh Jesus. I'm aiming for that tricep, right? But he's just massive. Okay? So I'm just grabbing my wrist. All the same principles apply, however. Okay? Still gonna get heavy. I'm still gonna understand how this arm is compressing in the precise way. Okay? So even though it seems like there's more space as I compress down, it's the same thing. Okay? How was that?
It was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Painless is perfect. Okay? So we can make this work, and I enjoy making it work. It's very, very possible for the most part. Okay? And obviously it's a game. Like he's gonna have stuff, you know. Okay. On that note, as always, this is my last class here at this camp, and I want to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you and your time that you spend with me. Like, this is a real big honor to be able to come here and teach you guys. And I hope that you get something from this class. I hope that you get something from the camp in general. And, you know, if you have any questions on the Darces or anything, don't hesitate to ask. Truly. Okay? All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.